Right guys, welcome to Blackmore Vale RC. Today is day 2 of the strip down of the so-called Tamiya. Discovered that it's actually a Carson 1/8 scale WRC. So we've taken the motor out, pretty grubby. So I'm going to give all this a damn good clean up. If anybody knows of a body shell for this thing, give us a shout and let us know. We found the 1/10 scale ones, but not the 1/8 scale ones. So this is an FC motor. Don't know what size it is. It's probably got it stamped on it somewhere. I'll have a look once we cleaned it up. But yeah, so we're in the middle of stripping the centre out of it at the moment, and I'm going to clean the chassis, rub it down, and give it a coat of paint and some 2K lacquer, anti-scratch lacquer. So ordered a few bits for it that I've managed to find. They're quite hard to find. Obviously I need a new dog bone in there, because that one's got a bolt through it and it's probably not going to last too long. Can't find any wishbones, upper wishbones, so it's a standard 1/8 width, because I've got some HSP one, but they're curved and they hit the shocks, so unless I put the shocks around the other way and put a standoff on it, it's not going to work. You need the straight ones like that. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to bore you with every single detail of what we're doing, but I'm going to strip the centre diff out and the brake disc, because this found that this is binding, because the brake discs are actually buckled. This one seems to be fixed on that dip, and this one's floating, so that one's probably not so bad. But yeah, I may need to straighten them or some. I don't know what I'm going to do, but yeah, I'm going to get all that out and then we'll come back to the video. Cheers guys. Right guys, we're just about to strip down the rear section. Give it a clean up. Nice big metal gears in there. Looks like the grease has all gone a bit sort of hard in there. It's not really doing a lot, it's not touching anything. Just going to strip this down completely, give it overall, check the oil and the diff, and just generally give it a damn good clean up. The hubs are in pretty good nick. Get the drive shafts a clean up. Right guys, next bit. Right guys, just stripping out the diffs on the Carson, and as you can see, bone dry, rock hard in there, so that won't working at all really. So I'm going to soak it all up, get a good clean out, and put it all back together. Most of the parts are actually pretty coming up pretty clean. Look, the shocks are like brand new, been cleaned with a bit of acetone. Shock tower looks come up nice and clean. Covers, spring cups, the springs are coming up pretty clean, but they've got a bit of rust on them. I don't know whether that's going to sort of affect its look when I finish. The chassis is in for primer at the moment, so as soon as we've got a bit more of an update, we'll continue. Cheers guys. Right guys, we've stripped and rebuilt the rear end and the diffs. On these slightly older cars, maybe you guys know a bit more about it than I do, but these diffs don't have any oil in them, because these shafts just slide in and out. There's no rubber seals in them, there's no gaskets, nothing. So all I've done is just put some grease in there. It's running perfectly smooth now. Perfect. Yeah. Sweet as a nut. Decided not to repaint the shock springs, but everything else of that it's like brand new. So that grease is Molly Slip CV grease. If it's good enough for a CV joint, it's good enough for that. So chassis is into paint for black, and that should be ready for tomorrow. Start putting some of this back on. so we'll keep you updated. Right guys, so I've cleaned out the fuel tank. It's all lovely and clean. Remember it in the first video, it was all yellow and goopy in there. Cleaned out lovely. So looks pretty cool. Decided, I don't know whether I said it last time, decided not to paint these. I'm just going to keep some of its natural patina because it is a 20-year-old truck. So yeah, I'm going to crack on and oh look, took all the paint off the exhaust. I don't know whether it'll polish up so it's shiny. I might have to paint it black again, but we'll see. And the chassis is painted, just letting it cure now, and then we can start putting it all back together. So I've stripped this one down. That's what they look like, and they're filthy and covered in crap. And this is what it looks like. It's nice and clean. So, a lot smoother there. Alright guys, so crack on with the next section and then I'll video a bit more. I think it might actually crack on and clean the engine and what have you. This engine does actually turn over. So it just needs a damn good clean up. Alright, so let's crack on, do this side. Can't find any of these arms. This arm obviously got broken and has been arrow-dited or whatever it is in the past. I can't seem to find any. Obviously I'm not going to find parts for this truck, it's too old. So that's my next project. Let's get that done. Right guys, chassis has been sanded up a little bit, primed, recoated, looks nice and shiny now. Just got to let it sort of cure, it's still a little bit tacky, but yeah, it's looking good. Centre diff stripped, rebuilt. Still got a bit of a click in there. I don't know whether there's, I don't know, the disc brakes, we sanded them flat, just take the edges off and put some more abrasive back on them. And the reason that was locking up is that one was glued onto here on the wonk, so it was binding. So I managed to unglue it, and because it's supposed to be floating on there, and we'll see how it goes. Next thing is clean the old calipers up, cut a new spring for one because there was a spring that was broken, and get it all put back together and start popping bits inside here, and we can see what it's like.